The document discusses a candlelight concert happening in Boston and suggests watching calming films indoors. It also mentions a 3-hour film and provides information on where to find more details.
I'm Daryl C. Murphy, and you're listening to The Common. WBUR, Assistant Director for City Space, Candace Springer. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
What could we possibly be talking about at the top of January?
You know, same old song and dance as usual. We got some new recs for you for the new year.
Yes, yes, yes. We are in January. It's official. Talk to us. What's going on for the month of January?
Well, I don't know if you're feeling like me and it's just like slow to start this year. Like I don't have all of it quite yet.
Listen, stop and starts and stop and yeah.
So the first one is like we're going to ease into going back out, right? Like
Thank you.
We need something quiet. We need something soothing.
Oh, okay.
How about that?
Where we going?
We're going to go to a candlelight concert.
Oh, shoot.
So this is kind of a thing that's been happening across the country, maybe even the world. I actually haven't looked at that. But candlelight concerts are held in more than 100 cities, and they've been attended by more than 3 million people around the world. And we have our own version of this in Boston. They happen all the time, and they're actually pretty fun because they're classical concerts that are usually the music of really hit major artists or bands, and maybe even some, long-established composers as well. So essentially, it's a multi-sensory experience that, will sort of like make you sort of appreciate the music even more. So you go into a darkened space. There are fake candles everywhere, fire hazard. And it's just beautifully lit. And then you're listening to some amazing classical music. Think like Bridgerton, for my Bridgerton fans out there. You know how those popular hits were turned into classical tunes? That's what we're talking about here. What's kind of nice about these is they're held in 3 locations, it looks like, across Greater Boston. There's one in Brookline, one in Cambridge. There's actually one at the New England Aquarium, which is pretty cool, too.
Nice.
But most of the performances are done by 2 local quartets. One is the Beacon Street Quartet, and one is the Rasa String Quartet, which we've actually had at City Space. And, it's a way to experience, again, local music and all the joys and wonders of all of your favorite artists. So I actually went to see the Beyonce Candlelit concert on January 4th. And there are more coming up featuring every artist you can possibly name, from the Beatles to Adele, Pink Floyd. We've got some Vivaldi's Four Seasons in there, some Hans Zimmer. So there's really something for everyone here. And it's family friendly, ages 8 and up. And, kind of giving me date night vibes.
Do they have a candlelight concert for, I don't know, Griselda? Can I see some Griselda at a candlelight concert? You think that'll work?
Well, you know what, actually, Daryl? They actually say if there are any candlelight concerts that you want to see, you can go and message them either on Instagram or online.
I'm going to request West Side Gun. See if you can pull that off.
I think you can pull that off. I think they would entertain your request.
Okay, so that's candlelight concerts in Boston. That's happening in various different places around the city. Where can people go to find out more?
You can go to feverup.com, or you can just Google candlelight concerts in Boston. You'll find it.
There it is. Boom. Okay, what else we got, Candace?
All right, let's try a film. That feels calm. That feels soothing. No?
Indoors, dark.
Yep.
Kind of similar vibe. Yep,
How about a 3-hour one? Okay, wait. Before you say no.
Yeah, 3 hours?
What if I told you it was a one-of-a-kind, one-time only screening of a chronological compilation of scenes from more than 200 films and TV shows shot in Massachusetts?
like an Instagram stories or Instagram reel or something
like an
that.
epic Instagram reel.
Okay.
So essentially, this is a new film called Made in Massachusetts, 100 Years of Filmmaking in the Bay State. And it includes these scenes from 1922 to 2022, highlighting lots of different Massachusetts locations, from the Vineyard to Harvard Square to Great Barrington, lots of landmarks that people will recognize. I mean, a lot of films have been made here, and Boston is becoming a really popular location for filmmaking.
This is true.
For example, the new movie, The Holdovers, starring Paul Giamatti, directed by Alexander Payne, was shot all over the city. And one of the people who worked on that film is a man named Adam Rothman, who's a property master and on-set dresser. He's the one who helped create this new film that's screening at the Brattle Theater. He's worked on Boston films throughout his entire career. And so he has worked with his fellow producer, Vachi Arabian, to come up with this compilation. And honestly, this is like a classic ode to Boston. You know that this is going to be packed, right?
Mm-hmm.
We love our city. We want to see every single scene that's been filmed here. We want to go, look at that. Oh my gosh, I remember that place. And also, it's free. A free screening. So
We love free.
We love free. So I don't know, if you're feeling a little nostalgic, if you're feeling some super pride in your hometown, I think this will be a fun one to go check out. And I assume that you don't have to stay there for the 3 hours. My guess is that you can pop in and out.
It does feel like in recent years, I'm seeing a lot more set in Boston. I was really surprised to see the Black Panther sequel with some scenes in Boston, right?
Yeah. Over the Massachusetts Ave Bridge, yeah.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
And then HBO's The Last of Us, right?
Yes, yes.
Supposedly
that's a good one.
set in Boston, right? That was interesting. So
yeah, this compilation is everything. It's not necessarily that it's just set in Boston as part of the film. It could be that it was just filmed here, and you never knew that it was filmed here. Kind of cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And where is that taking place?
At the Brattle Theater in Cambridge on January 14th.
We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. And we're back with more from Candace Springer. What else you got?
This one's a little weird.
Okay, I like weird.
How about a puppet show?
Hell yeah.
This one's called Moby Dick, which may sound familiar to you. It's inspired by the very, very popular novel written by Herman Melville about a captain of a ship who is obsessed with catching a whale.
Captain Ahab.
Captain Ahab, exactly. And this is actually a play that features life-size puppets that is happening on January 23rd through the 28th at Emerson's Paramount Theater.
Wait, when you say life-sized puppets...
I'm saying your size puppets. Like, these puppets are created to basically inhabit the actors in the show. And there are over 30 of them in this production.
How many hands does it take to operate a life-size puppet?
That's a good question, because there are only 7 actors that are also in the show. So I assume that there is a combination of puppetists or puppeteers and actors who are putting together a reimagining of this story. It's pretty cool. And there also may be a gigantic whale just waiting for you at the end of this production.
Fascinating. And where and when does this take place?
This takes place on January 23rd through 28th at the Emerson Paramount Theater.
All